I was just remembering how some people they think, you know, like they want to get you, like they want to stick you. God puts them here to do that. Are we going to call them the evil people? Whatever. They want to. If they sense that you're like in a higher state, a height of your being, they want to like they want to hurt you because they're not. They're jealous and there's no humility, etc. So then they have all these different tactics they use. But I remember the one tactic. He's like, "You're talking about superficial, but look at you. You dye your hair." He thinks I dye my hair. I took it as a compliment. I mean, I'm uh, like, bro, I don't have any interest. I'll never dye my hair. Not that there's anything wrong if somebody dyes their hair. I don't know. I'm thinking about other things. Like Einstein, remember? He couldn't even like match his clothes and colors or do anything, but yet he created that instrument to bend light, the Philadelphia experiment, and he set that thing off, and then the ship disappeared and ended up on like the other side of the ocean. The people were stuck to the ship, and he's like, okay, I need to call that off. But he's focused on things like that, not worrying about like do his clothes match. So I'm kind of like that with my hair. I remember though. I mean, I've gotten that more than a few times, and I was like, I need to ask a girl. I think a girl knows about these things. And I asked her. I said, why do you why do the people think I dye my hair? She says, well, probably because your beard's whitish gray and your hair's like dirty blonde. I'm like, it's the sun though that does it. I don't know. I didn't do it. She says, yeah, I don't know. But then I started thinking. I'm like, but everybody like not your hair and beard don't exactly match all the time, right? Like one gets probably more gray first than the other. She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. Well then, why do they think I dye my hair? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either. All right. So back to evil. So this is a heavy subject. It's a heavy thing. I'm gonna let it flow. Otherwise, I do a disservice to myself and anybody that's listening. First thing I feel to say is, you see, people's mind wants to project. I think this is due to certain scriptures and tabloids. It gives this impression that God is somehow a good being, a good entity somewhere. Remember, I talked before, and then he's fighting the devil and stuff. And the devil keeps tapping him, and then, you know, like that. But see, God's not good or bad or anything. God is, you can say, the formless. God's just a word, number one. It's pointing to something that can't be explained. You can use all kinds of words, absolute, formless, whatever. But it's somehow this. It's all there is, is God. It's like the the screen or space in which this whole play of individual existence can happen on. And then within that play, you have good and evil. You have to. Can't just have good. There wouldn't be any good if you didn't have the evil too. So God has to play as the evil to so that there can be good, a sense of good. But it's all like not true. It's still a sense. The good is a sense, and the bad's a sense, and everything's just a sense. The absolute, like when you're in deep sleep, is there any good or evil? See? So then you get the heavy questions, and I'm not making light of these. I think you guys know by now. I'm not a non-dualist to where I say like everything's just thought, even though it is, but it's not appropriate to say that a lot of times. So then you get the heavy comments like and see, I know because I experienced this. Like people got no idea, man, about other people. Our imagination makes us think we know something. We look at it like we think we can size somebody up based on our imagination. Think we know something. I used to do that. Some people think, oh, you just live in the woods. Well, I understand, like you only see me out in the woods, but you just remember you see 10 minutes. Yeah, what about the other 23 hours and 50 minutes? You're just out in the woods, you just live in paradise, like you don't know nothing. I was like, man, please. I don't know anyone that experienced more suffering than me. Not that they haven't, Of course, there's always somebody experiencing more, but my whole life has been, for the most part, a very intense, painful experience, and so I know all about it. So you can call that evil if you want, evil experience. So like, what's happening here? Why? I used to ask these questions. Why am I experiencing this? Like, what evil did I do? I can't see my previous lives. Did I hurt people? Maybe, probably. Like, what happened? So I know all about that. So I'm not making light when I'm talking about these subjects, because they're heavy subjects. They're sensitive subjects. But at the same time, it's important to address, right? Because, like, it's on people's mind, man. It was on my mind. So those that trust me and like listening to me probably want to hear me speak on it, and I'm happy to do so. Those that don't, yeah. Evil. How can the bad things happen? How can this war that's going down in Israel happen? You know how many wars there have been though since the planets existed? You know how many more wars there will be? We'll never have live in a place where there's not wars. In higher ages, there's still wars. They just fight with astral energy and more Star Wars type stuff. Go read the Mahabharata War. It was a good war. Enlightened beings fighting. You see? Why? Because it's destiny. They asked Krishna, like, "What? You could stop this. This is what it has to be. Like, I'm gonna fight with you. All right, let's go. This is life. It's like that." So, when the actual experience of the evil or the suffering, yeah, it sucks in that moment. After the body dies and it's released, and then you'll see it's not like you don't exist anymore. You know that you have an ethereal body under this body, and you have an astral body under that, a causal body under that. Like you're full of bodies. So when you take these clothes off, you're going to be another body, and you might be a little disoriented and confused when you leave the body. But then God has things in place. There'll be angels or certain other ethereal beings helping you to transition. Probably not going to be speaking in words. It's more about telepathy. You know, they're going to be they're going to be sending you energy and thoughts. So you can come this way. And then what? Then what? You're not going to be thinking about the evil. No, this was so bad anymore. No, you're going to be out of this world now. You're going to be out of this game. So technically nothing dies. It looks bad when it's here. Yeah, look how good God did with this cosmic 3D game he created. Go see that video. It went viral. I don't know why. This YouTube's it's just luck. A lot of times it's luck. There's a lot of talent out there, I know, that just they don't get discovered, you know, and there's thousands of channels that get created every day. I'm amazed anybody gets discovered now. It's like in Hollywood when I was an actor. There's so much good talent out there that just everything's about timing, you know. They didn't get discovered yet. The right person didn't see them at the right time for the right role, and the YouTube's like that too. So if you guys are doing YouTube channels, just relax. That's a good lesson in itself, not to be attached to the results, knowing that you truly have something to say, but yet it's not going anywhere. Yeah, this is like, we don't know, man. You just express yourself. That's what you're doing. You're transmuting this energy. The life force has to express, so you express it. I have to speak on these little subcategories when I'm doing my main subject, because it feels important sometimes. And then I run the risk of not remembering what I was saying, but I usually always do. I'd say about 99% of the time, I remember. So let's see if this is going to be part of that 99%. I was talking about evil, and that I understand what it's like. Evil or suffering, I understand what it's like. Oh yeah, and then the person can be tortured and suffer, and then they die, and then they realize, like, whoa, this is this is a lot better actually. And then the beings are helping you. Yeah. Okay. So why does God play that role? I think I touched on that. To give this real diverse experience, you need all that. You need the good and the evil, and you need all that. There's no way around it. Some deeper realization will occur in each and one of everybody at some point, to where you somehow see that and you don't take things as serious. Still take things serious. It's part of the play, like you're supposed to. Even the non-dual oaks that pretend like everything's a thought and nothing's serious, they still take it serious. Trust me. When some things go down, yeah, they take it serious. And it's cool. Like, okay, you take it serious. But something deeper knows, like, oh yeah, I'm in my own video game playing. It's super real. Let me see. Did I? Yeah. So, have you guys heard of Milarepa? Milarepa. He was a sage thousands of years ago, and he's a good example. God creates all these examples. He killed a bunch of people, but then it said he became awakened toward the end. I always like a little backstory, because I'm like, okay, well, what do you mean? He just walked around and was just smoking people for nothing? No, he was a boy and he had some special powers. That was the karma and destiny, and some people have gifts like that. Don't think that somehow you're not as self-realized if you don't have a power. Like, it doesn't work like that. But this kid has some power, and his parents knew that, and they were like fighting with the other villages, and they were like dying, and then they got the idea, like, wait a minute, our boy can just wipe them out, like just set a fire and just finish it. So they're like, hey son, come here, look, they're trying to kill us, and we need to like stay alive, right? So can you like help us out? Like just put them all on fire or something. Kid's like, all right. And then he goes and does it. And he did it a few times. But then something in him later, as he got older, as he evolved, he realized, like, wait a minute, like something's off here. I don't feel good anymore doing that. He's not like the serial killers who don't have any consciousness about anything. They have to go to like some kind of hell realm to like learn, like, you shouldn't kill people. But this kid, because he's high level, he realized it. And then he found a guru, and he spent the rest of his life just in service, burned all that karma that he created through doing what he was doing. Of course, he wasn't totally at fault. Parents put him up to it, but still, we got to pay tax, at least a little tax on the things we do. There was a boy, a guy that committed suicide, and his mom was super upset about it, super depressed. Sometimes when we leave the body, we can get special permission to give a sign, maybe to our loved ones or something like that. That happened to Marianne Williamson also with one of her boyfriends in the past. He died unexpectedly, and she was worried or something. And then he appeared in her dream and gave her it's all good, it's okay. So this kid died, committed suicide, and his mom was super upset. And then he appeared in her dream and said something like, "Mom, what's one life next to infinity?" It's like, I didn't die. Like that's why I came to show you, Now, some might ask, because I would, what's going to be his karmic consequence because he committed suicide? We don't know. There's not a one, it's not like here, if you drive on a suspended license, yeah, they'll lock you up. Happened to me twice, in jail. It's not like that when it comes to a higher universal karmic law. We don't know. I don't know the situation. So he's going to have to learn, that you don't go before your time's up, because you can't escape the things that you're running from via suicide. Somehow that lesson will have to be learned. But when you learn a lesson, you don't need to. That's what I mean. There's not a hell's not punishing. It just wants you to get the lesson. When you get the lesson, you're cool. You don't need it. They're not gonna. It's not like jail in America. If you get sentenced to 50 years, even though you learned the lesson, if you don't have parole as a possibility, you just got to rot for 50 years. Although on a bigger level, that's also karma. yeah, how do you talk about all this? I want to say though, go see that movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze. It's old, 20 years, maybe 30 years. I don't know. That was good. That was super good. Do I like it better than What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams? Maybe. Yeah, go see that. That's good. That's all I'll say. It's good. Also, the evil. See, God uses everything for highest purpose. There's some beings who, like, it's their role to be evil this life. It just is. Because of karmic tendencies in the past, they didn't learn the lesson, and so now they're like being evil again. So God uses them as, like, you can say, karmic instruments to dish out some punishment to the so-called innocent people, because maybe they weren't so innocent in a previous life, and so they need some karma. Their karma needs to be expiated. So God will use the evil people to do that. Like, He uses everything. We don't know how this works. It's way too complex. But the core message is God's not this nice little happy positive being who's like sitting somewhere like watching everything. No, it's like it has no quality. The formless has no quality, because any quality that you experience, it's happening in the formless. The formless is, but it's not dead space either, because otherwise nothing could exist. It gives the ability, it's the substratum life force to let everything else exist. All right, I think I talked enough. I think I made 4 videos today. So I'm gonna sign off. All right, I'll see you.